はい。マイク入ってる。はい、ということでね、続きやっていきたいと思います。はい、じゃあ、特にもう、あれなんで、先進めますね。はい。どれがいいのかな。
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis Stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Bernardo went ostrich hunting. Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals? The air here tasted bitter. The steps were too tall for a person. The entire place felt restless, like it had been vexed to nightmare under the dust, waiting for its hour to come around at last.
多分これ同じルートの中で、あ、これ戦うんだ。そう。同じルートの中で多分いくつかのトゥルールートにつながるものを選んで、だから何回か同じルートを1回行かなきゃいけないんだろうな感じですね。まだこれ増えたところでさほど怖くはなりました。
The ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good.
前回より多分早かった気がする。
It wasn't his fault. They looked so breakable.
体力はもうひたすら増やしていくに限るんですよ。ああ、これ以上増えないのか。今度多分あれだもんね、ソードエナジーの方だけだ。スピード速くできる。時間をどうにかするやつはあれ、時間をどうにかするやつはね、なんか結構あれなんですよ。自分にも跳ね返ってくることがあるから結構難しいです。多分そうやって出てくるな。このヒーラーがすごく邪魔なんですよ。 あお
I should go, he thought.
敵が強くなってるどんどん強くなるんだよねこれ。スキル獲得してよっしゃ無双するぞじゃないんだよな。ヒーラーただヒールするだけじゃなくてアウチ残り体力10しかないんだけどやばいやばいやばい。これは生きていけるのかこれは。石44か。これ青いのいけるよ。あれ青いのいけなかった。
If only it's some kind of magic ice sword.
いけないのか。マジで進めない。そうじゃあしようかな。じゃあ違うルート行くしか。あれ鉱石も足りないしエッセンスも足りないのか。てか全然足りてないねそっかそうなんだ。
How could you convince a firewall you're its friend?
多分変わるんですよね。同じルートでもいくつかあれがあるんだ。ああ火の玉に当たってしまった。
He'd once met a pirate captain. He used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
そうか。こっちに行かなきゃね。こっちにあるのないか。じゃあ
Renato was running out of ideas. Zenobia loved him to death. The Sky Ripper destroyed everything.
あー紫の先に行きたい。
Lapino was a filthy traitor. Using a stone named for an evil god seemed
絶対これ紫の先に行ったらなんか
But what else was there?
違う道があったりするかもしれない。黄色のコース
Touche.
そうだ、
he
こい
said,
つの
and died.
こいつ覚醒してるからめっちゃ強いんだ。刺激が重いんだったわ。本当にね、困る。ヒーラーの厄介なとこはね、直すだけなら全然いいんだけど、こうやって強化してくるのがね、厄介ですよね。覚醒されるとめんどくさい。倒せ倒せ。オッケー、突き落とせ。よし。あれ、ヒーラー出てこなかった。アウチ。じゃあじゃあじゃあじゃあじゃあじゃあじゃあじゃあじゃあ。
The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
オープン。3つかよ。3つかよ。鉱石3つかよ。溶岩流れてるよ。すごっ。熱そう。砂漠の時点で熱そうだったけど、溶岩流れてる。めっちゃ熱そうだよ。なんかスムーズに進めない。なんていうだろう。こんなとこもう来たくないよね。怖いよね。なんか。
Oh, they really ought to put a railing on this thing, he thought.
火の玉飛んでる。熱そう。あー、しかも戦い絶対ある。ここなかった。
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. Who said that?
ここまではこの間と一緒で
It
す。
was the stone. Eager, thirsty.
ギリンプラーですね。血をよこせ。
That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Renato wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the
皇
core
帝
of
にしてやろう
Sky
とは
Ripper
言ってるけ
instead?
ど、別に
It
皇
was the
帝にな
eye
る
of
つ
a
もり
lost
はないと。
god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. It's the core, said the stone anxiously. What you want?
多分ね、こっちに2つぐらいルートがあって、この猫捕まえて、なんだっけ、殺しちゃうルートが1個あったのと、多分このスカイリッパーを手に入れて、どうするかみたいな。どっち行こうかな。こっちの方が新しいかな。
The stone bothered him. He hated being told what to do. Wasn't that why he joined the rebellion? Wasn't that why he'd refused to be a soldier?
猫ちゃん殺すると
He'd
多分
agreed to come
新
on
ルー
board
トじゃない
only
と
if
思
he
う
could freelance. The stone felt a bit clingy. The sage Calaveras had told him where to find the Sky Ripper, a weapon capable of challenging the gods.
わかんないけど。
Even without its armature,
違ったらまた
the core
こ
would
っちの
still
ルートから
possess great
筋の
power.
割に
He would go there.
これね、多分一
The
回
moment he
じ
landed
ゃ
the far
終わらないん
farer,
で、
Renato had a rare feeling of
何回かね
regret.
こう戻り
It's
な
not
が
too
ら
late.
時間を
he
巻き
thought.
戻しながら
He could turn around and sail for Zenobia's island. He frowned.
なんかもうなんか外れな気がしてき
Wait
た
a
ね。
minute.
リグレツ
He
って
didn't
後悔っ
want
て意味で
to
しょ。
kill Zenobia, did he? Sure, technically she was the enemy, but they'd been at sword fu school together. They'd never been lovers, but somehow they'd been closer. She'd told him every secret about herself, except the biggest one, that she was the Emperor's daughter. No, kill Zenobia, whispered the stone. Before it's too late.
めっちゃゼノビア殺せって言ってくるんだけど怖いよ話。 確かに使えないんだよな。前回の1回目で分かったことが、スカイリッパーって確かそんな使える武器じゃないんですよ。盾がいないと楽だ。盾のやつがいなければすごい楽だ。こっちかな。赤いやつ壊せるんだ。
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
さすがに水晶から出た木の実は食いたくないな。木の実出ないけど。
You almost never saw wild gogglers together like this. The toads had to train them not to peck each other to death.
そんなことある？
These had to be imperial gogglers. That meant ravens were up ahead. Anyone ever tell you you have a lovely eye? No?
今見たよね。今こっち、あの目こっち見たよね。なんか助かった。ラッキー。
The stone hadn't lied about what it could do for him. With each
なん
raven
で
he
こ
cut
の
down,
世界の石は
he
喋
felt
る
a
んだ。
jolt of power flowing into his arm. Whispered the stone.
You are me.
Are you afraid of it? Don't be ridiculous. It chuckled. But it's unstable. It will poison you so
お
much as
前弱いと、お前弱いねって言われちゃった。
it would explode catastrophically. Bernardo did not trust rocks that talked in his head. He went onwards.
なんか脳内に直接語りかけてくるんだ。マジでやばいと思う。
Of course there was a puzzle. You couldn't expect the transcendent emperor to bury a god's eye in a leather sack where anyone could pick it up.
そんな。そんなことって。
This couldn't be good for global warming.
け渡れないんだ。どうやって渡るのこれ。あ、そういうことか。そういうことね。暑いけどそうするしかないわ。だって両方ともから来てんだもんね。これ絶対敵出そうなんだけど、ご覧のレギュラーやっぱり。でもレイブンだけならいける。レイブンだけならいける。うわ、ヒーラーいる。ヒーラーだけならいける。よし。スカイリッパーって確かに手に入れちゃいけなかったんだよね。
As he approached the core, the stone became hysterical.
待ってよ、ちょっと待ってよ。石と石が喧嘩するんじゃない？
He had a sudden vision of plunging his gauntlet into the core and dying in anguish. That wasn't his vision,
確
was
か
it?
1回目のあれで神
The
の道
stone
具だ
had
から
sent him
使え
its
ないんだっ
darkest
てことが分かっ
fears,
て
He had a sudden impulse to do exactly that. He raised his right fist and plunged it into the core. There was a rush of light. He thought he could hear the stone screaming. And then he passed out.
When Renato came to, the core was gone. But the Iblis stone was no longer black, but glowing with a blue light. And it was silent.
I can't hear you, he sang out, and you. It didn't answer. Ha, he said. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind.
あ、そうなんだ。石と石をぶつけ合ったらいいんだ。
It was time to attack the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he?
どっちがいいかな。It never hurts to ask for advice. You can always ignore it. Able to silence the every stone using the sky ripper core, yet the power it gave him. Nexus would have answers.
As the Farfarer made its way toward the Nexus,
争いは何も生まない
Renato
か。
watched sparks fly out of the core.
でも
The
新し
Iblis
いルート
stone
が開い
sucked
た。
them in hungrily. You'd think the stone would want this kind of power, wouldn't it? Thought Renato. Well, the scientists would explain it all.
This time, Renato was sure he'd figured out how to use the core safely.
See? He'd trusted his gut, and it had worked out. That's what it meant to be a hero. To ignore the naysayers and the oddmakers, and do what you knew was right, and have it turn out to be the right thing. Well, he wasn't worried. Once he got to the observatory, the scientist toads could explain it. Then he could carry the war into the enemy's camp and destroy them all. Oh dear, he was getting a little bloodthirsty, wasn't he?
Wasn't he? そうだろう。僕が欲しいルートのあれになってんのかな。僕はなんか石みたいなやつの最後のルートのやつがめちゃくちゃ欲しいなと思ってるんですけど、そこになってんのかな。スカイリッパーの方になられても困るんだよな。スカイリッパールートはもう入った。ああ、これ多分いけないんだよな。
Renato hoped his mother wasn't watching.
You あ、この道来たことあるな。なんか見覚えがあるな、この道。すんごい見覚えがある、この道。
He wished there were more pylons he could use the hook on. They really needed to construct additional pylons.
あ、これバトルだ。絶対バトルだ。この先絶対戦い起こるんだよな。強い。そんなことできる。敵によって敵を吹き飛ばして水晶を叩き割る。あいて。盾のやつがね、すごいな。めちゃくちゃ強い。 るな。吹き飛ばせ。いけ。よし。これやった。しゃあ。覚醒したレイブンに入るのちょっとめんどくさいので先に倒してよしよし、多分これでいい感じかな。よいしょよいしょ。そっちじゃないよ。
Renato had never felt better in his life. Normally, a battle would wear him down and he would need a night's sleep.
明けましておめでとうございま
Now
す。
he felt like he could go all night and all day. He felt like people were cheering him on, and he could practically hear their applause as he slew one raven after another.
よいしょ。はい。ました。このね、
The Imperial
石と
fleet
か
was
めちゃくちゃ好
closing
き
in
な
on
ん
the
ですよ。
rebels, forcing
だ
them
か
to come
ら
out
ね、
and
こう
fight.
切った石をね持って帰り
Renato
たい。
was itching to bring the fight to the enemy. He had to remind himself not to be too reckless.
めっちゃ好きなんですよ。あ、
This was definitely
ここじゃん。
better than pulling yourself up in a bucket.
で、これも苦手なやつじゃん。これ超苦手なやつですよ。タイミングよく切り替えれるからめっちゃ当たるんですよ。ああ、熱いよ。確かにこれね、渡った先で戦闘なんですよ。強化されてるのズビーっていう。ああ、もうしかもこの人だし。よっしゃ。よし。掴んで投げるやり方がどうやったか忘れちゃったんですよ。多分それやれば多分簡単に落とせるんだろうけど。順番に並んでね。はい。こんな縦なんだ。あはよし。倒せた。 どっちに行くんだっけ。こっちルートがないのか。こっちか。はい。よし。宝だったら落ちるかな。ああ。鉱石か。鉱石でした。残念。よいしょ。あー、めっちゃ綺麗ですね、この水晶ね。このとこ来たらもう戦いよりもなんか水晶集めに熱中しそう。わあ、すごい水晶だって言って。
The toads at the observatory measured the stone with their occult devices. I fed it the core of Sky Ripper, explained Renato. No more feed blood and souls. But the core is not an unlimited energy source, said one toad. Another said, there's a feedback loop, you see, which could overload the stone. The stone doesn't actually feed on souls, claimed a third, but on pain of killing another sentient being. If you can truly be at peace with yourself, it would not overload. This was all very confusing.
ああ、なんかまた出てきた。
Yes, the mountains were peaceful and quiet, but Hino had the power to turn the tides. He should report to the Rebellion Council
多分
and
ここら
prepare
辺
for
を
the
ずっと行き来
decisive
する感じに
battle.
なるんですかね、多分じゃあ。ああ、反乱軍が頼れないってことですね、つまり。No the rebellion depend on him. あ、石がこう拮抗してバランスがあれしてでってことだよね。じゃあ猫ちゃんをね殺しちゃうルートは多分バッドルートですね。The core was projected to rain over from the forest. これどちらでも同じ情報しか書いてないよ。
The one thing he understood from all the toad arguments, maybe the stone did not feed on blood or souls or rage. It fed on empathy. It fed on the pain he felt when he put an end to another being's existence. Even if that other being was a raven intent on killing him, if he could find peace, then he could use the power of the Ibla stone without being taken over by its evil. The mountains.
Evil stone.
He would go to the mountains. He could find peace there.
多分これが一番いい感じに使えるってことなんだろうな。スカイリッパーだけだと
Unfortunately,
とんでもな
the
い武器になっ
mountains
た
were
け
not
ど
empty.
ってことな
There
のか
were
な。
ravens everywhere. No matter. He had to fight, yes, but he didn't have to be angry. Parry, dodge, slash, and breathe. Yes, focus on the rhythm, the dance of it, not on the blood or the raven's core as they died. Ah, it was
青い剣結構
working.
強いですね。
He wasn't feeling those dark
敵も強く
jolts
なっ
of
てるけ
eldritch
ど、青い
energy.
剣もそれなり
He
に強
wasn't
いから。
feeding the Iblis stone.
まあまあまあ。まあまあって感じです。戦闘になりそう。どこで戦闘だったらおよそ分かってきちゃった。視界が開けたとこ大体戦闘っす。無音空間で戦うの面白い。
What kind of raven can't fly? Thought Renato.
やった。やったぞ。でこれ爆発しても何も取らないんだな。よしよしよし、いいぞいいぞいいぞいいぞ。よし、回復してこう。ナイス。よし、
These platforms were great. Renato wanted one for his house.
プラットフォームはグレート。プラットフォームじゃない駅。確かね、青いルートは進めないんで。多分、第2段階になったら解けるんだと思います。まだ進めないと。ロックされてしまった。しかも情報全員強化されてるっていう。強化済みのやつじゃないですか。一撃が重い強化済みのやつじゃないですか。ノーマルレイブン普通になんか様子見してるし、出番なくて様子見してるのめっちゃ面白いですね。もちろん順調に HP が削れていく。そうやって後ろに回り込むか。背後取れば勝てると思ったか。痛い。それで背後取れば勝てると思ったら大間違いだ。ほらほらほら。よし。
Check, please.
こっちでいいのかな。なんかあんまり見たことないルートがいっぱい出てて、後々これをいろいろと進んでいくことになるんですかね。わかんないけど。宝箱。チュルエンドのルートにたどり着いたか。この戦闘か。最近のやつ全部大体強化されてる。よいしょ。めっちゃ余裕ぶってる。余裕があるのか。そんな追い詰められててよ。そんな端っこ隅っこに追い詰められてて、そんな余裕ぶってる余裕あんのか。おい
The stone was still silent. His mind was his own, and his heart too. He bore them no ill will, these ravens. They were doing their job. They were expressing their nature. Dance, whirl, parry, jab, and breathe. It was all so simple, wasn't it?
連戦だった。
He didn't feel truly at peace. Wait. Couldn't this near
だから
McCalaveras
な。
save
強
help
い
him
キャラ
figure
が
it all out?
連戦できてたら、あ、でも連戦って言ってもそんなにあれなの。このなんか縦のレイブンはもうあれなのかな、雑魚キャラ扱いされてるのかな。このね、あちこちに出てきて電線に出てくる。
Welcome to Earth.
Renato told the corpses. It was something he'd seen in a play once.
簡単にそれで言っちゃっていいのかな。宝箱ルートで戻ってこれないかな。それだったら正しいルートが一箇所一つになるんだけど、なんか音が聞こえるんだけど、なんだこれ。正しいルート進めてんのかな。ああ、多分進めてる。正しいルートだ。強化済み2体が出る。強化済み2体が出る。レイブンいくら増えてもそんなに大したことないけど、 レイブンはいくら増えてもいいけど、強化済みのその縦のやつが増えたら巻き添え食らって死ぬ。かわいそう。ごめんよ、お前は僕が殴ったからそうだよな。そりゃそうなるよな。ごめんって、でもしょうがないよ。終わりだ。エンドスー折りエッセンス。
Don't look down, he told himself. Don't look down.
Don't look down。下を見ちゃダメってこと。そりゃそうだよな。高いところが怖いのね。出て。一撃が重い。体力の半分持ってかれるのはきついよ。しかも3個
To everything, there is a season. He turned over and died.
生きろ。大丈夫だ。レイブン倒してもね、代わりが送られてくるんだよ。手に攻撃してこないのが優しいけど、とは言っても隙が見せられない。めっちゃ追い詰めたいのに。で
Where Renato went next, we cannot follow. Yet.
なかなかに強いな。力ずくで倒してるけど、なんかこれちゃんと倒す量があるのかな。盾みたいなやつ。それはずるい。3匹とはこれなんだ。そんなひどいやひどいや。縦のやつ3匹じゃなかったら割と楽なんだけど。レイブン2匹ならまだ繋がるんだよ。もう縦のやつレイブン2匹かな。3匹いると骨だけど。よいしょ。下があれじゃないから落とさない。何もしてないのでごめんね。でも釣ってきたからよしやれ。よし
we do it, said Renato to himself.
よし、倒しました。よし、じゃあ次どこだ、こっちか。来た道を忘れてしまった。なんで崩れてるの怖いんだけど。足場がないのかよ。こんな高いとこ怖くて来れないけどね。よいしょ。よいしょ。はい。めっちゃ真上に上がる。あ、これもそろそろゴールじゃん。
When Renato went to the china shop, for some reason the owner was always
チャイナ
nervous.
ショップ。あ、そう。全然関係ないんですけど、ジャパンって単語あるじゃないですか。あれ、日本って意味以外に、なんか他にもなんか、小文字のジャパンの、あれもあるらしくて、なんだろうな。陶器だったかな。なんか意味があるらしいんですよ。っていうのを今、中国っていう意味のチャイナの小文字バージョンを見て思いました。なんかで言ってた。漆器だったかな。
He was sort of yanking his own chain, wasn't he?
音楽がすごい綺麗。幻想的なものに。ああ、記念が落ちちゃった。僕は悲しい。違うんだよ。
When I build my castle, thought Renato, all my gates are going to open with buttons, and all the levers will drop
記念が
rocks
いっ
at
ぱ
your
いやっ
head.
た。これはラッキー。
The Iblis Stone, silenced by the Sky Ripper's core, had given Renato enough power to challenge the Imperial
多分これ
fleet.
で
But what
そろそ
Renato
ろ
was
終わりだ
seeking
と思いま
was
す。
inner peace.
この章
The rebellion was on the verge of extinction, but it would have to wait.
水晶の残骸だった。だいぶ操作が慣れてきたな。よいしょ。いやー、あれ、こうせない。こうせる。お、なんか新しいの体得できる。ソードエナジーよりはどれがいいのかな。それで攻撃できるのが面白い。あ、これ強そう。よいしょ。なんか新しいの体得したけど誰かいる。誰だ。
At the end of the mountain path, he found the wise Calaveras in his workshop.
あ、
Do you fix
カエル
souls
か。
or only artifacts? He asked the sage.
Does your soul need fixing?
Asked the sage. I've been killing a lot of
Sage.
ravens lately. He told the sage.
You're a fox.
あれは
Said
キツネだ。
Calaveras.
And to kill birds is part of your nature. Just take joy in it. I mean, I might as well worry about eating flies. Would you like a fly?
It was true. That's what he had forgotten. The joy. Now he was ready for the final battle. The
Final battle.
Farfarer cut through the clouds. The air had never felt so sweet since he was a child.
There it was, the dreaded Imperial fleet. He could smell wet hemp ropes ahead, wood and tar, and ravens. Even the fleet smelt good, somehow. He was ready.
あ、なんか終わりそうな雰囲気がある。
He was ready.
あ、終わらない。なるほど。
Renato had it all squared away in his head.
Show them
He
the
would
truth.
kill the Emperor. Isengrim III had begun well, but he had gone mad. He was trying to invoke the lost gods by means of dark, blasphemous rituals. That
これ
was
っ
a
てで
secret.
もあれなのかな。
But the victims had spoken to Renato. The ghosts had spoken. No. No anger. Renato could not afford anger. It was
も
empowering
し
the
かして
crystal in his
紫の剣を
sword.
作る前に
That made him stronger,
クリアしちゃうのでは。
but it clouded his mind. He would not be a hero. A hero
紫の剣作るんだ。
strives.
違う、これあれだ。
Renato would just
ダ
be
ックのや
one
つ
with
スキルを確
everything.
認するやつ。
The emperor would die, and the wheel would turn, and all would be restored without
エ
rank,
ンペラー
without
は
sorrow,
ダイブだ。
without pain.
皇帝すでに死んじゃってたから。その真実は意外だった。おかしくなってしまったのはもう元の普通のやつがいなくなってたから。そういう感じ。それは悲しい。じゃあこいつらはあれか。もう今はいない皇帝のためと勘違いしながら頑張ってるだけのかわいそうなカラス。そう、レイブンズって調べたら渡りガラスって意味らしいですね。よいしょ。あとちょっと。次々とレイブンズが送られてきますが、進めないね。だよね、戦闘だよね、そうだよね。でもこれトゥルールートだよね。多分そうだよね。
What did you do if one of these platforms stalled?
倒しても次が送られてくるんだよね。だから別にこいつは倒さない。どっちでも変わらない。とりあえず元いたやつだけをとりあえず先に倒して、最後にまあ倒しちゃえば一番楽かなと思いますね。これ連戦なんですよね。めちゃくちゃ大変です。ここにあった。
Sorry, Terrence. Could lead Raven.
早いね、移動が早いね。よいしょよいしょ。よいしょ。あと一歩かな。じゃあもうするな。いや。硬いな。硬いので。はい、よっしゃ。ラッキーに。よし。
But the more he thought about it, and he had so much more time to think about now that he was not worrying about the battle, killing the Emperor would not change anything. Another would take his place.
なるほど。
Perhaps Zenobia.
多分皇
Perhaps
帝
the
を
speaker
殺
of
し
the
ても
rebel
何も変わら
council
ないじゃないかみたいな
power
話
would
してまし
corrupt them too, and death would make grief. Grief would lead to hatred.
おかしくなっちゃって
He must lead
もういないん
by
でしょ。じゃあしょうがないよ。
Reject the violence. Reject the desire to create violence. But how?
どうやってやんだろう。
What was really fun was hooking yourself onto a moving ship.
よいしょ。はい。ここら辺が多分あと2回ぐらいですかね、戦闘は。強化されてて倒しづらい。痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い。
What's for dinner? He thought. Hope it's not broccoli.
違う違う違う。そうかそうか。今日の晩ご飯なんだろうなーってやってたから、自分が晩ご飯にされる話かと思ってたんですけど、そうブロッコリーじゃなきゃ嫌だな、いいなって言ってるから、自分の食べる晩ご飯です。無理だこれ、めちゃくちゃきつい。勝てる気がする。ああ。
What dreams may come, he thought. And then he found out.
.強化されては困るんだ。こいつ2体いなかったっけ。今回1体だけだ。邪魔をするな。ほら。なんか何気にこう道を封じられてんのがめっちゃ雰囲気あります。よいしょ。あとちょっと。惜しかった。
Bernardo had learned so much. It was time to turn it into something he could use.
Turn into something he could. そろそろ終わりかな。あ、まあここの戦闘か。違うか。そう、ここで
Soon he'd
ラストです。
confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
ここの先でラストの戦闘。あ、ヒーラーがいない。今回ヒーラーですね。後から出てくるのかもしれない。とりあえずこれで終わりじゃんか。邪魔をしないでくれ。まあこの鳥と1対1の決闘してるんだ。邪魔をしないでくれ。よし。律儀だな。 邪魔しないでくれって言ったら、ね、倒した後に攻撃してくるの律儀だな。うわ、覚醒したやつ来た。最悪だ。でもうちょっと、あとちょっと。くれたら出るか。これで。敵の頭数は減らしておいた。よし。で、律儀に待ってくれるのはいいことなんだけど。待ってくれないのは倒す。多分これで1ストーリー終わりですね。
Finally, he came to the Emperor's ship. The path behind him was strewn with dead ravens. The path to enlightenment. His mistake, he realized, was trying to change the world. The world would spin and the wheel would revolve whether he strove against it or not. What he had to do was nothing. He had attained enlightenment. He sat down, adopted a full lotus position, and began to meditate. And all around him, the warriors stopped fighting too. They knew. They could feel his enlightenment. They gave up fighting, dropped their weapons, and became his disciples. No, just kidding. The nearest raven stabbed him with a sword and then chopped off his head. I might not have thought this through properly. Thought Renado's head as it rolled around the deck and died.
終わった。
Oh, damn it. He lost again and died. But there was burning Ubar behind him. He still had all his destinies ahead of him. But he'd learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
Oh. あれ4分の4解放したんだけどあれすまに何もないの。
He knew enough now, he thought. All these truths tumbling around each other in his head. There must be a way to puzzle the pieces together. If he used everything he knew, he could discover a new path to destiny. The book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again.
なるほ
Faster
ど
than
ちょっと
before,
戻りましょう。
and he fell. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renado knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it.
このなん
To
か
take
石
its power
石み
without
たいな
surrendering
や
to its
つは危ねえやつっ
wickedness.
てことですね。
And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing.
お
Of course,
なんか鍵が出て
Renato
る。
had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
鍵が出てる。ちょっとどんどん進んでみます。
Renato finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause, and maybe Renato could use that somehow.
新しい選択肢。
Renato couldn't quite put his paw on when he'd realized Lapino was working for the Empire.
ああ、なるほどね。
He'd never exactly
全
seen
部集め
Lapino
て
sending coded
記
messages
憶を
to
持
the
ったまま
palace,
元に戻
but
る
he
か
was
ら、
sure.
こいつが裏切り者だってことが
Too many disastrous missions
分かっ
where
てたって
he
こ
was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames. If Renato could prevent
割と順調じゃな
Lapino
い？
from getting back to the fleet with all the intelligence he'd probably gathered, it might be worth the trip.
Worst trip めっちゃ悪い旅行みたいな。
How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lapino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
今回ちょっと2時間まで行っちゃおうと思います。
I didn't even run for me nest, said the lead raven.
ちょっと休憩が割と遅くなるけど、まあいきなりチェプター1から混戦なんだけど大丈夫かな。すごい勢いだけど大丈夫かな。ここと縦矛盾。盾を持ってるやつってすごい倒しづらいんですけど、実際盾と剣ってどっちが強いんですかね。よいしょ。ちょっとわかんないですけど。あとちょっと。盾欲しいんだよな。盾だったらめっちゃ強いんですけど。盾欲しい。
He'd always felt that the rabbit resented him. Lapino was hilarious because he was so down on himself and everyone else.
結構ご都合主義です。
He wasn't a happy camper.
だいぶご都合主義だな
Was
と
his
思ったから。
payback? Or did the Empire have his
記憶
little
だけ持って過去に
halo
戻
in
る
the
めっちゃ
vice?
強いね。壊れそうになった。そんな都合のいい話があるの。うわぁ川みたいなとこ戦いたい。あ、これは逃げろ。まあレイブンはあれなんですよ、なくならないから倒しても1体は追加されていくからあれなんですよ。よし来た来た。大宝。ナイス。
The right jewel could really give you an edge.
多分紫のエッセンスもう足りてんだよな。
It still looked pretty, didn't it? Ooh, sparkly, thought
め
Renata.
っちゃ色々出た。視界開けてるけど敵いなかったね。なんかできる。ああ、4個スキルが使える。どうしようかな。ちょっと待ってくださいね。どれがいいかな。あ、スタミナなのか。
That could come in handy in a pinch.
とりあえずこれでいいや。こっちから来たんだね。ってことはこっちか。これはしけてる。これはしけてる。少なすぎて。これは少ないって。そんなことある？これは来た道か。でもこんだけスタミナあったら体丈夫っすね。僕みたいな軟弱者とは違うってことか。あれこの道来た道だな。うわー、そろそろ敵出てきそう。そうですね。はい、あれこの道ってどの道？この道通ってない。
Where was a workbench when you needed one? Oh, never mind.
作れるじゃん。よし。紫の剣を手に入れました。やったね。これね、多分2段階であれするやつだから強い強い。振る幅がっていうか速さが全然違うね。よいしょよいしょ。僕はどこに行けばいいんだ僕はどこに行けばいいんだ。どこが来た道か分かんない話です。なんかまるで迷路。起きてない。こっちに行った気がするからこっちか。起きた？起きない。よいしょ。よいしょよいしょよいしょ。なんでとかね。どこに行けばいいんだろう。今まで一度も迷ったことのない道に迷ってしまいました。迷子。勘介迷子になってしまいました。どこに行けばいいんだ。ここ？とりあえず適当に進んでみますここさっき来たよね。ここさっき来たよね。なんか宝箱開けられてるし。どこだ？ すごいのどかな音楽。あ、なんかいる。なんかいるってことはあっちが正解か。いけない。なんで。はい。ラピーノをやっつける準備はもうできたんです。いた。けどここ行き止まりじゃん。
Ha! Bet you never saw that coming.
行き止まりだった。残念。どこ行けばいいんだろうか。マップみたいなのないんですよね。来てるの一回ね。あ、ここに飛び込むのか。それは分からんわ。それは分からんわ。それは分かんないって。そんな。そりゃ道どこにもないわけだわ。それは 100% 迷子になる。
Come on. One fox. No waiting.
強い。すごいな。アタックのやつが。エフェクトがすごいな。
Ravens were landing everywhere from dropships. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, the rabbit would give the Empire all the intelligence he'd been stealing from the rebellion, and they'd probably give him a medal. He'd have to be very careful about how he played Lapino. At the slightest hint of danger, the mad rabbit
スキル
would
の
take
ロッ
off
ク
like
が
a
いくつか外れたのか。なる
rabbit.
ほどね。じゃあ最後の方までいけるってわけ。あ、これは渡れるのでは。やったー、紫のルート渡れるじゃないですか。大宝箱あるよね。最高。
What's there?
What's there? 宝箱だよ。じゃあこっちの話してんのか。あ、なんかすごいの出てきた。Dear ゼノビア。ゼノビア宛てのなんか手紙が出てきた。これをどうすんの？どうもしないの？持って帰れないのか。読んだしもいいか。しゃ。その縦のやつ巻き添えにしたかったな。これこのなんか。紫の剣で縦のやつ吹っ飛ばせねえかな。縦吹っ飛ばせねえかな。縦さえ吹っ飛ばせればもう大したことない。あるから倒しづらいことこの上にある。いたぞ悪いやつ。切ってやる。オラ
Bloody and exhausted, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Now that he knew what the rabbit was, there were a few things about him that Renato didn't find so amusing anymore. You sent me an urgent message saying that you're in danger. Oh, I am. The ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia. Renato wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it." But if there was one thing Renato was sure of,
これ
it was that the core of the Sky Ripper
ど
was
っちが正解
dangerous
かな。
mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Isengrim III might
これね、でも
blow
ね、
himself and his fleet
う
up
ん、
with
どっ
it.
ちもあると思うんだよな。
Yes, that was it.
この裏切り者って言ってブスってやるか、それをやらずに乗って ってあれするかだけど、帰り口にされそうなルートもあるんだけど。
Me? A traitor? I'm hurt, said Lapino. Why ever would you say that? We found your code book, said Renato. They hadn't, but he hoped Lapino would blow his cover. You got me, said Lapino.
And you know what? I don't regret a thing. It's always about you, isn't it? You're the pretty hero. You get the girl, you get the medal, and what do I get? Rabbit food.
I thought you liked rabbit food,
Go to hell.
said
ゴールヘ
Lapino.
って言われた
And he made a gesture, and 20 ravens came out of the river and stabbed Renato to death. He had tried something
Ah, ora,
bold
yappa
and
da
paid
yo.
the price for it.
やっぱそうだよ。
How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lapino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
そうだよね。ってことはちょっとめんどくさいけどもう一回やんなきゃいけないのかな。
Wallabies, he thought. Why did it have to be wallabies?
そんな気がしてた。なんか裏切り者っつっていきなりやると絶対なんかあると思ったけどもやりたかったやりたかったからもう悔いはない。ハマるべく罠にはまっ得てしてハマったと思うんですよ。得てしてハマってない。分かっててハマった感じじゃない。なんかありそうと思って。ダメでしょ、後ろから攻撃してきたら。許さない。よっしゃ行け。
Can I borrow that?
あ、そんなバカな。レイブンごときに私が。レイブンごときに。ああ、もうどんどん強くなる。ああ。もう1体だけにしてくれ。1体だけで十分だよ。来た。これは来たぞ。
But he'd always felt that the rabbit resented him.
あの
Lapino
なん
was
か
hilarious
フック投
because
げ
he
る
was
やつ
so
めっちゃ強
down
い
on
です。
himself and everyone else. But behind the laughs, he wasn't a happy camper.
Ooh, was this payback?
What did the Empire have his little white tail in a vice?
でも戻ったら宝箱みたいなのもう一回手に入るのかな。ならワンチャン悪くはないか。このあれはしけてるな。しけてる。それはしけてるって。
Not quite enough, thought Renato.
紫って万能なのにあれなのか。ちゃんとあれなんですね。着実にやっていかないとちょっと流行ると死んじゃう。ちょっと気持ちが流行ると死んじゃ
う。My God, it's full of stars.
星が満天の星空。星空なのか。
Renato was dead tired. Then he was just dead.
そんなにデッドデッド言わないの。そんなにデッドデッド言わないの。あー、盾のやつ来た。ヒーラーよりめんどくせえ。ヒーラーばっかけてくるんだ。
Ravens were landing everywhere from dropships. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, the rabbit would give the Empire all the intelligence he'd been stealing from the rebellion, and they'd probably give him a medal. He'd have to be very careful about how he plays Lapino. At the slightest hint of danger, the mad rabbit
あ、
would
惜
take
し
off like
い。もうちょっと隣だった。
a rabbit.
Wow.
Small step for a fox, he thought.
Small step for fox. 狐にとってのちっちゃな一歩。逃げ逃げ。でな。邪魔をする。 フックが武器になる時が来るなんてこう思いもしませんし。よいしょ。ってことはこれは多分じゃあ
Bloody and exhausted, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Now that he knew what the rabbit was,
木を見てやんない
there were a
と
few things about him that Renato
いつでも
didn't
かつ
find
でも
so
オラオラってやったら
amusing
死んじゃう
anymore.
んだろうな。
You sent me an urgent message saying that you're in danger. Oh, I am. The ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia. Renato wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it." But if there was one thing Renato was sure of, it was that the core of the Sky Ripper was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Isengrim III might blow himself and his fleet up with it. Yes, that was it.
こっちの方がいいのかな。じゃあ
Renato felt like a real hero, brave and smart. He told the rabbit all about the Sky Ripper's God's Eye core.
I'll go get the core while you attack Zenobia.
He told the rabbit.
But wait, I have an even better idea. I'll get the core and you attack Zenobia,
Said the rabbit.
Right, yeah, that is better.
Agreed Renato.
ってことはこ
Perfect.
う乗っかったふりを
Make
する
sure
って
the
ことです
Emperor got the core. Now Renato just needed the Emperor to use the core.
悪い顔して
If he
る
could
めっちゃ悪い顔してるぞ。
something that the Emperor wanted very badly. Zenobia. He could save her and bait the Emperor at the same time. Right. Now, all Renato had to do was fight his way through Zenobia's invading troops, sneak onto her ship and into her bedroom, and kidnap her without any of her dozens of guards alerting her. Then, he would rely on her love for him to convince her how evil her father was, so she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up. It did
な
sound
ん
a
でゼノ
little
ビアって
risky,
殺されそうになってるの毎回毎
but
回。
Renato had a feeling it would work out somehow.
よくわかんない
It。always did.
ゼノビアって悪いやつでしょ。悪いやつってか皇帝の娘でしょ。ラピーノは裏切り者で、ゼノビアはだって皇帝の娘なんでしょ。じゃあ皇帝がおかしくなっちゃってんだったらゼノビアって敵のはずでは。なんで敵と敵が殺し合ってんだろう。よくわかんないけど。これでも確かまさか
Don't look down, he thought.
そうだよね。格好の待ち伏せ場所だ。ルールじゃないわ。
Once
それは
again,
無理。
Renato was dead right.
そんないっぺんに攻撃された
Or
ら無理。
actually just dead.
でもこれここにレイブンがいるってことは道はあってる。あ、立てないやつがいるのラッキー。出てくるんかい。ラッキーとか思って出てくるんかい。全然ラッキーでもなんでもないじゃん。多いやつ。これで盾吹き飛ばせるんだ。これは強い。これで盾のやつ怖くなくなった。盾。宝箱。こっち側に落ちる。よし。違う。なんで剣振り回してんの。 ちゃ倒れてるけど。ああ、青のソード使いてー。
Gogglers. Renato hated gogglers. It was almost impossible to sneak past them.
そんなに
If one didn't spot you, another one would.
ヘイテって言ってるぐらいまで嫌いなのか。そりゃそうか。あ、そりゃそうだわ。だって守るねって言ってた普通のウサギを殺されたの見て。最初のところでそう炭にされてた。
Who are you looking at? Oh, right. No one.
よし。猫さんこんにちは。まあね、だいぶ進んだんですよ。なんか4つのトゥルールートを終わらせて、でもまだちょっと情報が足りないからってことでまた戻って、今3回目の戻ったところですかね。さっきでもなんかこれ罠だろうなって思いながら罠にはまったら罠で死にました。
Renato was halfway to Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up. He was disheveled and distraught.
They jumped us. I barely got away.
Oh, they got the core.
Oh, it was all going according to plan, thought Renato. Now he just needed Zenobia on his side.
Yes, that was even better. The Iblis Stone.
Zenobia could get it. And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait,
提案
no.
パスって
The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her.
そう集会、そう集会みたい
Even
な感じ。
Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor. He would try to make himself Emperor. And the Emperor would have to defend himself with the core. Boom. He was a super
Boom.
genius.
Send Zenobia for the Iblis Stone. Send Rapino for the Iblis Stone. Rapino.
This is terrible, Renato told the rabbit. If only I had gone for the Iblis Stone. But now it's lost in enemy territory. He handed Lapino a map.
多分ゼノビアを
It
送
gives
り
the
込んだ
bearer
ら
so much power. We can
What if-
only hope the Emperor never finds it.
What was that?
Said Lapino.
I think someone's following us.
I didn't hear anything.
Rabbit ears. You go on ahead. I'll check it out.
And with that, Lapino hopped off with the map.
逃げちゃった。いやいや。
There was a pleasant breeze coming through that door. Had it been closed before?
なんかいいのがあるかもしれない。やったーなのに。やったーなのに邪魔が入った。宝箱の前には敵がいる。アドベンチャーゲームのテスト。でもこれ高さはなくなった。
Rushed.
盾がねもう弾き飛ばせるようになってます。これでだいぶ楽になった。今までみたいにダメージが通るまで戦い続ける必要がなくなった。なかなかすごいのしてる。やったね。クリティカルチャンス。黄色のジムか。
I need more materials, thought Renato.
勝手に自動でレベルアップしてそれが反映されるのか。 PK。はい。
Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. She was curled up on her bed. He'd forgotten how beautiful she was, how sleek, how soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She was made of smoke, and he noticed he had a very solid blade to his throat. Did you really think you could capture me? Purred a familiar voice. I just wanted to chat, said Renato. Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He needs a sacrifice, someone who truly loves him, to make a bargain with the lost gods. That's a vicious lie. He wants to bring them back. That's crazy. Why would anyone... They could make him immortal. An eater of souls. And with that, her eyes widened. She understood. Renato told her how he had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred. How he had slept in a burnt village. At midnight, the Emperor's victims had come to him in his dreams to tell him of the hideous eldritch rituals they'd been sacrificed in. He could still see those kittens and puppies, their wide, sad eyes, their moist noses. You can't prove that. I've got a witness at the observatory.
証明できない。証明してみせるさ。
He couldn't tell her, not yet, why he was really here. He didn't want her to be anywhere near the fleet when her father blew himself and Lupino up. So he told her about how the Emperor's obscene rituals had raised ancient artifacts out of the land. How he followed the appalling trail of the hideous horrors His Majesty had perpetrated for the sake of his own immortality. Any of this ring a bell? He said. He told me it was all lies. You've always known when I was lying. I always hated that about you, said Renato. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up.
皇帝が狂ったことをゼノビアに証明してみせればいいのか。どうやって証明するの？どうやって証明するの？そんなこと証明するの無駄？
He needed some way to break the ice with this wall, so to speak.
ちょっと多分剣の種類が違うから取れない。そういうのがあといくつだ。ちょっと待ってね。違うのかな、そう。じゃあ戻るしかないか。こっちだって。よいしょ。ここだってじゃ崩れそうな方に行くよ。しゃあこれ敵がいるな。これ絶対できる。これ大丈夫か。 あお。え、そんなことある？ヒーラーばっかじゃん。全部ヒーラーじゃん。
Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you join in? No! I'd destroy his books and I'd... Oh, God. Okay, you're not completely wrong. They've resurrected one of his victims. Well, look, I mean, look, it's not exactly alive, but it can talk. A true witness, she said.
Building these
微妙に
platforms
異な
was
った
so
ってことです。
expensive, they'd run out of budget for
今まで
guardrails.
ゼノビアがここに来るってことはなかったから、ちょっとずつ未来を変えていく感じになってます。あ、僕の嫌いなところ
A cannon trap. Who kept these things loaded anyway?
あ、こいつだけ嫌い。もう盾のやつは怖くないけど、よし。ダメ。
Smell any better dead than I'd have thought.
宝箱がある。いっぱい出ますように。よっしゃー。よし。なんかすごい止まった。
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The ravens had taken special care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared at the carnage. He didn't want me to hear the witness, did he? I guess not. What's your plan? She asked. So, Renato explained his brilliant gambit. Sending Lapino to get the Iblis Stone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him, thus blowing up both of them, and hopefully defeat too. Let me visit your council, she said, shaken. I want to help. Could he really trust her?
Oh, what to see burning? Bring his break of his idol. わかんない。わかんないな、これ。どうなんだろう。信じていいかどうかって話だよな。なんか、そんな簡単に信じてバカねみたいな感じで取られる可能性もあるし、信じなきゃいけないべき、信じるべきとこなのに信じれないっていうパターンもあるんだよね。ゼノビはそんな悪いやつじゃないような気はするんだけど、今までにね、1回助けたら裏切られ、2回目は捕まえたと思ったら逃げられみたいな感じだったからな。疑わなければならない時もあるが、行ってみよう。
He'd done it. He'd made Zenobia see how evil her father really was. He wished she didn't feel this urge to join in the rebellion.
信じてるぞ、
After
ゼ
all,
ノ
he'd
ビ
taken care of the
ア。
Emperor,
これで
right?
裏切ったら僕はもう
Yeah, but she'd always been
お前を一切
conscientious
信じないから
like
な。
that. She told him she had to go somewhere first. So Renato gave her the location of the secret base and they agreed to meet in the ruins. He had a very good feeling about this. What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council? Had he made a mistake, sending her to the ruins? No. He knew they could trust each other. He could trust her because she never broke her word. And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way through rainstorms of ravens.
Zenobia ゼノビアよりも先に反乱軍のところに行かなきゃいけない。あ、宝箱からもあのブルーベリー出るんだ。へえ。届かない。届かないよ。微妙に届かない。しょうがない。諦めよう。
He missed her. Not Zenobia. Hypatia,
信じました。
the kid's mother.
ゼノビアを信じました。
Renato had never thought he'd date a librarian. He'd always figured himself for
ラ
the
ピーノが裏切り
barmaid
者
type.
で、ゼノビアが
Then, he'd never figured the
実は
library of
悪いやつじゃ
Roma
ないかも
would
し
have
れないというルートを
comics, or
僕
that
は信じま
Hypatia
し
would
た。
know anything about them. He missed her.
人狼もそうなんですけど、人狼って信じる人を決めるゲームなんですけど、まあゲームなんですけど、つか僕はそう思ってるんですけど、まあそれと一緒ですよね。僕はゼノビアを信じると決めたんだ。あの猫ちゃん実は悪いやつじゃないかもしれない。
Renato felt
ルートの希望にかけ
ready
る。
to blossom within him, or
うまく
something.
いきすぎてるっていうのはもう分からんことはないけどね。あんま疑ってばっかじゃ 先に進めないです。時には死んでることも大事。よいしょ。新しいスキルが解放されてる。インクリースザオーバースピードアップ、これ大事だ。ああ、これ分岐してるのか。ここが進めるはず。
Or I could go that way, he thought.
その前にちょっとあなたからは取ってか。宝箱はね、取らないと損なんですよ。罠の宝箱とかないから。裏切りは生きて返さない。ラピーノとかいうウサギ平気で裏切ってきましたけど、あいつはやばいやつ。ちょろ。
I should sell this stuff, thought Renato. I could retire.
ウサギはちょっと許されないですね。ちょっとウサギはちょっと罪重いです。許さない。ウサギ許さないからな。絶対許さないからな、ウサギ。多分違う。マジか。これ戦闘だな。あれ戦闘じゃない。戦闘にならない。
As he came around the bend, there was Lupino, unconscious on the side of the path, and Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it.
ゼノビアさんもしかしてラピーノ殺しちゃったんですか。裏切りウサギ殺しちゃったんですか。体力がやばい。もはや虫の息じゃないですか。あと6つか。
Renato did not feel well. In fact, he felt dead.
よっしゃー、ヒーラーぶっ飛ばした。ヒーラーぶっ飛ばしたのに。ヒーラーぶっ飛ばしたのに。よいしょ。ちょっと待って。こんな単純なとこで何回も死んでるわけにはいかないんだ僕は。早くゼノビアに会わなきゃいけない。邪魔をするな。 の戦いになってきたな。はい、次行きましょう。
Two eyes good. One eye dead.
索敵範囲広すぎないこれ。そんな密集されたら僕はそう。暑いって暑いって暑いよ。避けるのめっちゃ大変やな。暑いわ。暑いわい。よいしょ。これ決戦じゃん。
The long stairs.
Long stairs.
So he was
長い
close
階
to
段
the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Look, it's not personal, but your mother wears army boots on her ears.
リンチじゃん。やめてください。
I should really look for another line of work, he thought. And then he died.使いすぎたか。よし。もうなんかレベルが19まで上がったからそう簡単に上がらなくなっちゃった。よいしょ。階段。 Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood. Why? He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Well, not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
なんで そっかそっか。あ、わかった。要はゼノビアっていう、まあ、皇帝の娘が、まあ、石を持って、そしたらその石が、裏切り者のウサギのラピーノを殺しちゃったと。で、もうどうしようもないからなのかな、父親の、まあ、カエルです。狂っちゃったカエルを殺すっていう話をしだしてて、それを止めるか、もうなんか、もうやっちゃえっつってさせるかのどっちかって話です。こっちにいいルートないと思うんだよ。
You won't kill me, he said. And I won't let you kill the Emperor. Enraged, she raised the sword. You hate him too? He could sense the Iblastone, yearning for his death. But she
あなた
didn't
も
strike.
皇帝に
You
組ん
kid
でん
him.
でしょって。
He'll destroy you. I know you. Shut up! She shouted, her sword trembling. I won't lose you again. Not for anything. Get away from me,
失いたくないん
he
で。
said, and he was very close. I can't lose you again. And he was in reach of her sword now. I hate him! I hate you too! I love you, he said for the very first time. And then she was
お父
weeping.
さんを憎んでるって。
He
で
was、holding her.
レイナ
The
ルドのこ
sword
と
had
も
dropped
憎んで
from
る
her
と。
hand. He glanced at the Iblastone. It was no longer the black of the void. It looked like coal. No. It glowed like a cinder. It was crackling, burning, crumbling into ashes. You've always loved me, haven't you? She said. She was weak. The stone had taken so much from her. Always, he said. She staggered as he
ラ
helped
ブ
her
ストー
up.
リーになってきたぞ。
Let me take
な
you
んかラブ
away.
ストーリーになってきました。
Where? The island of Avalon.
アバ
The
ロン。
sisters will heal you. He'll follow us. Then we need the Farfarer, the fastest ship in the Empire.
ほうほうほう。
The Empire had seized his ship. They'd have to take
To
it
Avalon.
back.
アバロンへ。アバロン行きましょう。よいしょ。ちょっとアバロン行ったら、一旦枠を閉じて、3枠目に入りますね。よいしょ。
You never knew where the road would take you, thought Renato.
なんだこれ。新しいルートか。じゃあ宝箱ルートです。赤いやつ。よいしょ。よいしょ。こんなルートだったね。
And there it was, his beautiful skycraft.
もうちょっとなんか今までと違うね。
They would fare very far indeed, beyond the Empire, beyond the reach of the Empire, to the
ア
mystical
バロンって
island
理想
of
郷だよね。そ
Avalon.
う、理想郷でしたね、確
He
かに。
didn't know exactly where it was, but he knew he could find it. And they would find peace there. Second star on the right, and straight on till morning, laughed Zenobia. And they laughed together for the first time in a long time.
宝箱とそれだけ。宝箱からなんか、ね、あれが出るようになりましたね。リンゴみたいな。これはね、でもね、純粋にね、ありがたいっちゃありがたいんですよ。ありがとう。次。ゼノビアとかどうやって来てんだろうね。船渡る手段あるのかな。僕の娘があるのかな。
This would be the perfect place for a tic-tac-toe board. Was the cake?
親星さケ
He
ーキ。
promised cake.
ケーキって何？ケーキのこと？なわけないよな。こんな時にケーキって何？それは遊んでる。あ、
The
惜しい。
goat. Take the goat across first, Renato thought.
惜しい惜しい。
But it was too late.
いきなりでかくなったいきなりでかくなったそう、なんかね、音かなんかすごくでっかくなるんですよ。あ、なんか立て続けに攻撃されると間に合わないね。もう一回ワンモア。次こそ勝つ。次が倒した方がいいんだよな。ヒーラーいないし。よいしょ。あ、ここか。で、自分から当たりました。そうね。めっちゃ船が当たってる。どうなんだっけ。こっちか。これ来た道だよ。え？道がないです。道があるよね。そっか。話が変わったからない。場所も変わるんだ。ああ、来ちゃうな、お前。お前だけは許さん。青青ここでなんかこれもうそろそろ終わりそうな雰囲気あるけどな。トゥルーエンドで終わりそうな雰囲気はある。 そんなことできる？と捕まえるのこれ。青。爆発に巻き込まれた。爆発に巻き込まれちゃった。ああ。ちょっと待って、もうちょっと。
No skateboarding, the sign said.
青。よし。今までのルートよりもね、ちょっと新しいルートになっている。5まで行って終わらせてる。飛び込んでいかないで。飛び込んでいかないで。飛び込んでいかないで。ああ。飛び込んでいかないでよ。ああ。よいしょ。現れたな鳥。現れたな鳥。もうなんか混戦すぎて。よし。どうしようかな。どうしようかな。なんかあと1回ぐらいやってダメだったら一旦枠取り直そうかな。ちょっと休憩をさせてください。なんかね、もうなんかマウスをこうカチカチカチカチしすぎててね、えげつない。ワークはもうここでこのあれはクリアしてしまう。はい。ってことでね。ちょっとキリが悪いんですけども。まあ、とりあえずね、新しいルートが開拓されて、4つのね、4つのトゥルールートだったのかな、あれは。なんか4つともルートを開放したので、なんか新ルートが開放されまして、ま まあいい感じに進んでたんですけど、ちょっと今苦戦したので、一旦ここで枠を取り直そうかなと思っております。もうちょっとね、進めたいと思ってるので、次の枠でですね、まあ、もう少し進めていこうかなと思っております。なんだこれ。なんかなってるね。なんだこれ。まあいいや。はい。ということで、一旦ここでね、終わりたいと思います。はい、ありがとうございました。またね、次のやつもよかったら時間あればご視聴してください。ツイッターにね、やるとき、貼るので、それを見ていただければと思います。それでは、ありがとうございました。ご視聴。それでは。